have a beautiful culture. It's a very rich culture. We have powwows, we have sundances, so there's a lot of tradition, but there's a lot of new energy as well.
All the tribes, they're very different. Their culture, their tradition, and their language.
Historically, our people treated each other with respect, and we had a very healthy society.
When someone's victimized, it affects the whole community. And I think that's what's unique to Indian country, because we're all closely knit.
The people are very giving of themselves. They're a very proud people, but it can be a tough place to be because there is a lot of crime.
Our ability to believe victims is powerful. If another person can provide the resources, the support, they have a higher likelihood of being able to come out of a victimization.
It gives me a lot of hope that we come from a very healthy, strong people, and we can definitely get back to that. And so that's what drives me to do what I do. Because of the high levels of trauma and violence that we see, it's really important to have another Indian person beside you in Indian communities.
I want justice to be served, and I want our victims to have services.
The Victim Assistance Program was created in 2008 to respond to victims, to ensure that their rights are afforded to them, as well as provide essential services. A huge part of why the BIA Victim Assistance Program was established was to fill a gap between the federal and the tribal system. It's well documented the rates of violence that occurs within our own tribal communities. There is a great need for comprehensive services to really identify what those gaps are, and that's what we've tried to do at BIA. We're uniquely designed to really respect the sovereignty of tribes and to really provide responses in the tribal as well as the federal system.
We interact with the tribal system, the federal system, all of the social service agencies and the victims themselves and their families to try to bring somebody to healing, but also to bring change that helps heal our whole community. We're all Native. Many of us come from our own communities.
It's important to have someone that is from that community and that can understand the political, the familial implications coming forward and reporting all of the ties that come in when you're addressing crime in your own community, in your own family.
We maintain a relationship with a victim. It really begins right at the time of their trauma, and it can end years later. Our role as a victim specialist can run from being available at a hospital to working with family members and friends to acting as a liaison for law enforcement. My priority is the victim, and law enforcement is an absolute partner in that.
We work with tribal communities to service crime victims, regardless of what kind of crime it is.
My job as a victim specialist is to make sure, number one, the victims are safe.
Some of our core services are providing crisis intervention, emotional support, providing referrals to overcome the trauma that they're going through.
Tribes have community-based programs for ongoing counseling, shelter services, support groups, legal advocacy. Victim specialists would refer victims to those programs.
We provide the guidance, the information, the resources, whether it's mental health counseling or traditional healing.
Our victim specialists are criminal justice system-based advocates. It's important to differentiate between a system-based specialist and a community-based advocate. The key distinction is confidentiality. When our victim specialists are working alongside law enforcement, they're required to notify the victims that information will be shared with our prosecution team. Also, there are things that the community-based program can provide that we may not be able to provide. So our BIA victim specialists would refer victims to those community-based programs. Our victims are in need of many resources, so it's important for us to partner and meet the needs that exist for victims in Indian country.
There's so many challenges in Indian country.
Being the victim specialist, providing services throughout a large mass of land with a large population can be very challenging.
All of our systems are overtasked, they're underfunded, and it's really difficult to meet the challenges of our population because of that.
Most tribes don't have a shelter on their reservations or certified SANE nurses. Victims have to travel 45 miles away to have an exam done.
The tribes that I serve are 3-hour drives. My shortest drive is 2 hours.
Another challenge is the victims usually have nothing to fall back on. A lot of times they don't have very much family support.
I work real close with the shelter in Rapid. It's just that a lot of people do not want to leave their home. They don't want to leave their family, and they shouldn't have to.
So it's up to us to be creative, to call local area services. We find alternative ways.
This is Robin. How are you?
I work a lot with other programs that are able to assist and able to have the funding to help in certain areas. I had a situation where a family lost their home. Someone burnt their home down. And one of the local businesses in Ruidoso, they offered some gift cards for them to get the basic necessities until they were able to get established and to rebuild.
Trauma in Indian country is high. We're looking at issues compounded with historical trauma. We have beautiful traditions that we come from, but we also have these compounded issues that we need to address so that this cycle doesn't continue.
Indian people just in general having historical trauma, and then a lot of our victims and families that have been through a traumatic experience or event, not knowing how to deal with it in a healthy way.
They need to be able to work through those layers of trauma. So that's where I feel we have an important role also as victim specialists, is to really educate our community about that.
Just being accessible to people has made a huge difference in overcoming some of the barriers of building relationships.
Once I'm able to interact with community members, I have that opportunity to explain, this is my role, I'm here for you. And so prior, the community members had the attitude of, I'm not going to report it because nothing will get done. And now they are seeing a difference.
The referrals can come in through law enforcement, through the hospitals, through the schools, through other victims.
I've had community members just come into the office and they're like, can we speak with Robin? A family member said that you helped somebody else, so can you help me? And I'm like, absolutely. We have a lot more tribes that are constantly inquiring, how can we get a victim specialist? Because they hear the success stories of the communities that we are providing services.
We have 567 federally recognized tribes that have unique political structures, unique customs, unique traditions, unique sacred practices and rituals. The vision forward would be that every tribe have the opportunity to develop programs and services to meet the needs of their crime victims.
These are the most traumatic moments of our people's lives. We have to make sure that they have a voice, that they have somebody standing by them.
What we do matters. Usually it's victims who remind me that I've made a difference today.
I know that the need is being fulfilled in terms of being able to help people who didn't have services before.
I want to make sure that our victims are being treated fairly and they get the services that they're entitled to receive as victims.